This is Jay Harwich with an edition of Amazing Conversation with old friend Ty Kelly. Ty, have a busy March ahead of you. Member of Team Israel, going to represent Team Israel in the WBC, going to Miami in March. And you're kind of a veteran of this. Ty, why don't you tell the people how you first became affiliated with Team Israel?
It's a really crazy and random and like inside baseball story of just how small the baseball world is. But I guess my very first year, 2009, with the Orioles, a guy Mike Gioso was Jewish, and I guess we were talking about being Jewish. We're in Brooklyn, and somebody that he knows comes to see him, and they said, "Hey, Ty, come over. These guys are Jewish. They wanted to meet, a couple of the only Jewish ball players on the team." So I went and talked to him, and then 8 years or 7 years later, 2016, I'm with the Mets, and that same guy that I had met in Brooklyn knew Peter Kurtz, who was the president or GM or whatever of Israel baseball, and told him, "Hey, Ty Kelly's with the Mets now. I met him back in 2009, and he's Jewish, and you should put him on the team." So that was basically how I got in.
Ty Kelly, he's Jewish. I mean, you know, something doesn't work. I'm just kidding because I know the background, but you say Ty Kelly's Jewish. It's not like Berkowitz or Schwartz or Horowitz. On your mother's side,
She
is
is,
Jewish,
but
right?
it's not even that far from Kelly. It's just Keller. So it's not like yeah, it's not a Schwartz or anything like that. So yeah, it wasn't a far leap for her.
Full disclosure, I'm going to be the press officer for Team Israel. I'll be down here with you. I'm really looking forward to, excited about it, and hope we can win a championship. I got to tell you, so I'm looking through some videos the other day, and I'm watching the Terry Collins Tom Hallion video, and who was standing right next to Terry? But Ty Kelly. So the background was Noah gets thrown out of it. Noah said they're going to throw out of the game, throw it at Utley, and then Terry goes a little bit ballistic. Do you remember how fun? Terry got animated that day,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
definitely did. I mean, that was my first week in the big leagues, so it was all happening pretty quick. And none of us knew the extent to everything that he was saying and all that, but it was, yeah, everything was kind of swirling for me. So he was definitely part of that swirl.
Did you know the background of the whole thing that Tahada, that Utley had a heart slide, broke Tahada's leg the year
Totally,
before?
yeah, yeah. I mean, an insane slide, really, all the way on the other side of the base with no chance of turning a double play. So I was Uh, Noah, whether he was throwing at him or not, I don't know what he's admitted at this point, but he was he threw it as far behind Utley as Utley slid past the base, I think.
This video broke a couple of years after Terry left, and he got more views and more notoriety for that one video because he was MF and this and MF and that, and finally got. Tom Hanks just retired too, so that's why the video started surface again. Another game, up until last year, Met fans probably don't know who was the last Met to get a hit in the postseason game. That would be one Ty Kelly against the Giants. Could have been a hero. Get to second base, bottom of the eighth inning. We don't bring in, and the top of the
I
ninth,
mean,
you
I did
score.
everything I could to be the hero. Obviously, the rest of the team let
Yes,
everyone
yes.
down, so it was
Yes.
not my fault. I did the best
Well,
I could. I got a seeing eye single. It was about the most I could ever hope for against Bumgarner. But the rest of the guys just stunk it up
he
and
was
couldn't pull through.
and Noah pitched great that
It
day
was
too.
an
It was
unbelievable
great. But
game.
backtracking again with Team Israel in the Olympics, we beat Mexico. I say we because I'm part of the team now. If you don't
Oh,
mind, is
you're
that all right?
definitely part of the
We
team.
beat
We're going to
Mexico.
win a championship of the WBC.
That'd be great. I look forward to it. So we beat Mexico, and you're playing, mainly third base
Yeah,
in the
yeah, all
Olympics.
third base.
How much of a thrill was that for you to, to be in the Olympics? You represent Israel in the United States. How much of a thrill, was it, to be part of your baseball
It
resume?
was awesome. It was such a crazy experience. I mean, it was obviously very weird with having no fans or anything like that, and everyone kind of walking around, trying to keep a little bit of distance between each other. But it was such a great experience to get to be there with the world's best athletes in their specific sports, and to get to see the way everyone trained and ate and just carried themselves and from recognizable people, the guys that are in the NBA, to to much shorter people that are getting ready to do, I don't know, jujitsu or whatever things everyone was doing. It was a really cool experience to kind of just get to see all of the best athletes in the world.
And your name was actually one of the offensive charts. I think you're tied for fourth with walks. Didn't make an error the whole time, and Israel's really done well in these games, right? I remember you talk about in 17, 2-1 win over South Korea, right? In 10 innings, one of your high points of your career in the
Yeah,
WBC.
totally. That was the very first game of the entire tournament. No other uh, teams had played yet, so we were on the biggest stage in South Korea against South Korea. We definitely got kind of the short end of the stick of that group, but we were able to pull it out in the end, and it just kind of set us off on this journey that seemed like it was all supposed to happen at the end, but very easily could have swung the other way.
Wasn't Israel ranked 41st in a poll that year, and you got to had a couple of wins in that WBC? It was
Yeah, yeah, we were ranked in the 40s coming in, and then which I mean at some point I don't even they're probably just listing them in alphabetical order, uh, but we ended up beating great countries, like great talent from South Korea and from Cuba and from the Netherlands, tons of big leaguers and a lot of talent. And we hung right there with them and had plenty of chances to advance to a third round even.
we have a great staff. Ian Kinsler from the Rangers is the manager, and you have Jerry Narron, Brad Osmus, and Kinsler's the manager, Brad Osmus, and Jerry Narron the coaches. So it's a pretty really good solid big league staff. And Kevin Euclid is the batting coach.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable staff, and it's very cool to see Ian get to play in the Olympics and then immediately take over the WBC team and bring in a lot of talented players on the roster and just legendary coaches and in all of their own right, and it's going to be really cool and definitely putting Israel further onto the map than what we've done in the past. Just having that kind of gravitas coming in, you know, I think it's going to really open the door to more and more big leaguers wanting to play for Israel as they see the success that hopefully we continue to have.
Speaking of that, Kevin Pillar, Harrison Bader, and Jock Peterson, or at least some of the team that's been announced so far. So it's pretty, recognizable teammates you have
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, it's been really cool to see. Over the years, I think we in the past had talked to Jock had thought about playing, and Pilar, the guys have thought about playing, but have never quite pulled the trigger for whatever reasons, wherever they are in their career. If they feel like they need to be at spring training or whatever. So for sort of everyone to be kind of coming together and I think it's just going to continue to propel the team into the future, more and more guys wanting to play. And I mean it's an amazing tournament, obviously. MLB puts on a great tournament, and all with all the big leaguers that are playing in on the other countries, and it's just a really cool competition. So I think more and more guys are going to want to be involved in that.
You see the team the U.S. is assembling. What's your feeling? We see all these big names and as you approach the tournament.
I mean, it's exciting to get to play against all those guys on on one team. I personally I really enjoy that kind of competition, and I want to succeed against the best players in the world, and we have guys that have had success against guys on those other teams. So yeah, I think it's just really exciting, and to see everyone sort of assembled, especially the Latin American teams, with the style of play that they have, and how much fun they have on the field, and how just exciting everything is. I definitely want to be a part of that and be in some close games against those types of teams, and yeah, so I think it's just a really cool opportunity.
Have you been to Israel at all,
I
Ty,
have,
yet?
yeah, yeah, I've been several times.
How is baseball doing over there now? Is it picked up?
Yeah, I think so. And the big thing is they're trying to put in just more baseball fields because there are not a ton of baseball fields in Israel, and the ones that do exist, you could make the argument that they're just parks. So the more facilities that they have that they're able to use, and it's not just the corner of a soccer field where they're trying to take ground balls. So the more guys are going to want to play. And the biggest thing with any American sports trying to take to other countries is the time change more than anything. So it's a lot of expats right now that know baseball and guys trying to get into it, but it definitely is an uphill battle. But they're trying to put fields in and trying to give guys the facilities that they deserve and that are going to make them want to try and learn the sport.
Ty, for people not that familiar with the format of WBC, it's a round robin tournament. I mean, you have to get out. You have to get out of your round. I mean, I think we start in Miami, right? Most of
Yes,
the
yeah,
time.
and we would be if we advance, we would be in Miami for every round. Everything runs through Miami. So Tokyo and Taiwan meet in Tokyo, and then go to Miami, and then Arizona and Miami come together in Miami to continue on there.
And so it's you have to win. Is it you're guaranteed at least two games or
Well,
for
it's round
sure.
robin, so you play against everyone once, and then the top two teams.
So it's 14
There's
in a
five
group, right?
now.
For
Yeah,
five
they
teams.
added in qualifiers. Our fifth team is Nicaragua, so we've got Dominican, Venezuela, Puerto Rico. May have heard of those baseball countries, and
Yeah, maybe a
they've
little
got some
bit, yeah.
guys in Nicaragua, and then of course Israel.
So your career is really one of really perseverance. I mean, it took you really about 8 years to get to the majors. Played close to 900 games, over 3,000 at bats. And I know we spoke the other day, and after the WBC, you're going to be a coach in the Seattle Mariners chain in AAA team. How did you keep going all these years? I mean, when you came up to the Mets in 16, that was the first time you made it to the majors. You know, why did you keep
Why
going?
did I keep going? Uh,
Yes, sir.
I think is all that I've ever done. I think that I've always been a good player and been versatile and been able to do a lot of things. So I think that kept me around long enough to be able to be in AAA and be a competent player and be able to get called up and do some positive things for the team and not destroy any team's season. So I think that just being able to do a lot of little things and just continue to develop into that sort of veteran presence, albeit very much a minor league veteran more than major league. But just having that sort of skill set kept me going forever, and has definitely kind of guided me onto this path of becoming a coach. Because for so much of the last several years, I've been in some kind of role, similar to a coach, just kind of a veteran leader that can do a lot of things and help younger guys out, yell at umpires when that's necessary, just do kind of a lot of the under the radar stuff that younger guys may not be able to do.
You touched on it briefly. Did you try and recruit? Do you make calls for teammates? Since you've been here for a long time, you try and get guys.
I haven't done a lot of that. I did play with Kevin Pillar this year in Oklahoma City in the Dodgers organization, and we talked about the team. And I think he was already on board before that. I think for several of the guys, Jock included, 5 years ago, I think they were at a very different place in their careers. So it was a tougher decision. Jock was trying to establish himself as as an every year big leaguer, and Pilar is in a different place with the Blue Jays at the time. So I did talk to Pilar about it, and other guys that if I see someone in the minors, honestly, towards the end of this year, we played against a guy with a Jewish sounding last name. I forget what it is at this point, but the next day after he pitched, I went out and just like, hey, are you Jewish? You throw 95. That's what exactly what we need.
He's so nice.
And unfortunately, he said he was not Jewish, and he said everybody asked him though. So it was very disappointing. But
Can I tell you a funny story? So in the mid-80s, David Cohn, you've heard of him, right? So I have kind of like a warped sense of humor. So I wrote, I got a letter from the Israeli Forward. What about this Jewish pitcher you have on your team, David Cohn? So I'm sorry, God, I kind of lied, and I crossed my fingers. I said David Cohn was Jewish, so they did the interview with him, and people know that it's C-O-N-E, not C-O-H-E-N, and David would go speak to bar mitzvahs, not really lie, but just not say what they kind of understood. Maybe he was Jewish, but he made before he became rich and a famous announcer on ESPN. He went to a lot of bar mitzvahs to say he was David Cohn, who had an article published on him in the Israeli Forward. It's just kind of funny. But what I've matured in my old age now. I'm not that
that's
crazy guy
incredible
anymore.
that he did it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually. When you were with the Mets, I remember we did some stuff with you, some articles. Again, I probably haven't screwed up. You did some TV scripts.
Yeah, I've done some writing. I've written a couple features, which is another word for movie. Of course, they haven't been made or read by anyone important, but I did some stuff like that, and have done some stuff with my girlfriend, who's a television writer, as far as pitching a baseball show, a minor league baseball show. So I've gotten to do some fun writing stuff, and then I wrote some articles for different Mets blog sites and newsletters and stuff like that, and also made a bunch of YouTube videos.
Is really press cover? Is there a lot of papers who cover the games here?
Yeah, yeah, there definitely are, and there are some writer or some journalists who I guess I'm not sure if they're kind of back and forth. And we've met some people out in Israel that also write in the U.S. So there's a lot of people that are back and forth, expats and whatnot, and there's definitely some coverage. There's some media stuff that more of the guys that are from Israel that speak Hebrew will be, much more featured in, because they can speak Hebrew and actually talk to the people in Israel. But yeah, there's definitely coverage in the Olympics. There was coverage in the last World Baseball Classic. We came out and wore yarmulkes for Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem, and Netanyahu like retweeted it. Whatever your thoughts are on any of these people, but yeah, so
Well, nice. That's good. I did have a 38 line haftarah, so I'm legitimate.
it's
So
incredible.
I did get bar mitzvah a long time ago, and I memorized most of it because my speaking wasn't great, so I kind of memorized a lot of it. But listen, I'm really looking forward to working with you. It'll be like old times, and I'm excited. Maybe I'll be a good luck charm. Advance a couple of rounds and have some fun and upset some teams.
It's
It'll be
going to be a
fun.
lot of fun. I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to get out there and get on the field and start beating whoever's out there in front of us. It doesn't matter who it is.
That'd be great. I look forward. It should be a good experience. I'm really glad. After all these years, I'm really good to be a part of the WBC. It'd be great. Ty, thanks for your time, and I look to see you
Thank you
soon.
so
Huh?
much. I can't wait to see you.